Welcome to the last prep video for the 2021 Shakespeare Association of America seminar on Shakespeare's other disability plays. At this point, we feel like we're doing our podcast intros. I am your co-leader, Lindsey Rau-Highveld.
And I'm Bellee Jones-Pierce, and we are very excited to be at the point at which we can meet together in seminar. So to begin, we'll talk about some logistics. We will be meeting via Zoom, and you will receive a Zoom ID link and a passcode via email or whatever other conveyance you are viewing this video through. We will be meeting on Friday, April 2nd, 2021, between 1 and 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That is New York time for those of you playing along from elsewhere on the globe, as are we. Auditors are still welcome to participate in our seminar. The SAA had a deadline of March 15th. Our seminar, though, is working on crypt time, and therefore they're still very welcome to come and listen and hang out and be auditors. And if you know someone who would like to do that, you can direct them to email admin@premoderndisability.com.
We wanted to take a few minutes to tell you just a little bit what we are expecting in the seminar, to give you kind of a roadmap of how we expect our 2-hour chunk of seminar time to go, so that you can have a sense of what to expect and also how to prepare. So we are imagining that we will start by sort of situating ourselves in the work of the year. We'll talk about where we started when we imagined this seminar and some of the ideas we had for where we thought it might go. And then we will talk about some of the things that we have seen from where it is going. And we'll be inviting you to see if we can make any summative statements about the work the seminar has done this year. What are some things that after spending months with this topic and with each other, that we can say about ability in the early modern period, or that we can say about disability sort of beyond the disability plays? What are some of the both information that we've gathered, things that you didn't know before that you know now, but also what are some of the approaches that we found fruitful and know we can continue to apply to this work? So we'll start with that. Moving from the sort of big picture work, we will move into thinking about the small paper groups. And we'll be asking you to think not just about connections between the papers in your own group, but also between other papers in the broader seminar that you see maybe connecting to your own work. Then we will end by talking about plays. When we conceived this seminar, we sort of pushed on the word Shakespeare's other disability plays, reminding you that play doesn't just mean drama, but that it also means strategies. It means moves or plans. It invites playfulness. And so we want to take a moment to look forward and think, what are the next plays for us and for this work? Where do we imagine things going? What do you think will be the next plays as we consider ability, ableism, able-bodiedness, and disability writ large in the early modern period?
And so to prepare for all of this wonderment on Friday, here are a few things you may want to keep in mind or prepare ahead of time. So to speak about summation, maybe you'd like to prepare just a brief remark to get you started. We're not asking for something like a speech, right? We just want you to have something ready, to say. So the next thing that you'll want to think about is which specific paper you would pull in to the small paper group we assigned you to. If you had, if you got to pick teams, right? Who would you want on your team there? Who fits in?
And I just want to, for a second, for clarification, someone who is not already in your group, right, who you think fits into the shared conversation of your group.
Yes, because there is some rhyme and reason behind the groups, but we haven't told you our rhymes, our reasons, and we're curious to see what you'll shake into.
It's possible that your rhymes and reasons are even better than ours, so we want to hear yours as well.
Maybe even probable. But, so beyond that, and before I say anything else about this, I want to make it clear that I am not asking you to do anything like beyond or extra, right? Because we all have had enough of that. Two of the things we said that we would do when we began, but we haven't really done, are to talk about pedagogy and to build a bibliography. And so, as gestures toward those two things, I would like it, if we have time, if we could talk about how this seminar has sort of already leaked into or reached into our teaching. Just what has organically spread without you really having to push it or think about it, right? Into your work in the classroom. And then in terms of bibliography, because we've been thinking beyond the ordinary set of disability plays, right? Both actual dramas and approaches. I think it might be a good idea, and not just I, but we think it might be a good idea to think about bibliography in terms of texts that are outside of disability studies that you find crucial to the kind of work that you're doing and thinking through this seminar. So if there's something that you've used that would not ordinarily be on somebody's disability studies reading list that you feel would be really fruitful for a disability studies approach in early modern literature, we'd love to have that information from you so that we can put together a list of recommendations. If you want, you can send that ahead of time. You don't have to. You can just mention it and I'll compile everything. But yeah, I think that would be a good start to, also that conversation of the next plays beyond the plays we've already been working with.
Mm-hmm. Finally, we just want to thank you again for taking the time to participate in this seminar at a time when, frankly, all of us are just underwater, and for the really great community we've already seen building. We're really excited to see that come together in a new way later this week. So we'll look forward to seeing you, and we're excited to keep continuing this work this week and beyond.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.